Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. I may go off in this video, I'm gonna just let y'all know from Jump Street. But before we get into this video, make sure you go and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I'm sure many of you already know how I feel about Ben Simmons. At least a good amount of you know. I think Ben Simmons, I've said it before, and I'm gonna say it for the newcomers that are new to the channel, and thank you for all the new people that have been supporting the channel. I think Ben Simmons is wasting everybody's time. I think Ben Simmons is wasting everybody's time, and I think Ben Simmons is full of nothing but excuses. Period. End of story. All I hear at the very end is a bunch of excuses. He recently went on the JJ Redick podcast, or show, to explain his side of things. And we actually covered a bit of that. And I don't think JJ Redick asked him a single serious question, at least in a serious way. JJ Redick would just basically up there, here, answer this, Ben, answer this. It was like as if he was afraid to ask him a question. He babied him through the entire interview. Basically, that's what he did. Babied him through the entire interview. I don't know who JJ Redick creates content for. At first, I love JJ Redick. Now, it seems like as if he's creating content just for athletes. If you want to create content just for athletes, then please find a way to filter out the public so it's only them watching the content. But people that watch, fans and the rest of us, we want to hear the truth. You're supposed to be asking questions for the audience, not for the guy that you brought into the room. Otherwise, why make it public? This is just my view on things, and I think a lot of people agree with me. While he was on the show, Ben Simmons was asked to address one of his harshest critics, public critics, in Shaquille O'Neal. And excuse the noise in the background. They're doing construction. I can't control that, so excuse that. And when he was asked to address Shaq, he had a lot to say about how he felt about his feeling about some of the things that Shaq had to say.
Spice knows this. That's an excuse. I don't give a damn if Michael Jordan is on your back. I don't give a damn if T-Mac with Yao Ming and me is on your back. You throw it down. It's the playoffs. We're trying to advance. I don't want to hear that. Listen, I don't want to hear no excuses. You're 6'9", you're one of the strongest guys in the league. You can overpower little guys, and you're compatible and maybe equal to some of these big guys, because there's only one real big guy in the league. Guess what? He's on your team. He's on your team.
That's true. Joel was on your team. You're right.
Atlanta Hawks ain't got no big physical guys, so I don't want to hear that excuse.
Well, I think this is the first time he did an interview. If you're going to be honest, give him the benefit of the doubt.
No, see, and see, this is what we don't need. We don't need mama, baby, and the little boy. I'm trying to turn the little boy into an NBA man. There's pressures. There's a lot of things that you have to go through.
In turn, like Shaq and Chuck, sometimes what they're saying, and because they have a platform to kind of like protect us and, you do good. Obviously they're supposed to, criticize us, we're basketball players. But when it comes to like personal stuff, I think there's a level of like respect they should have. Even Shaq, like when I was dealing, with everything going on, I actually messaged him and he put it out, and I was like, all right. But I'm like, Shaq,
you sent him a DM?
Yeah, I DM'd him. I was like, why are you saying this if you don't even know the story? Because he always wants to say like, yo, we're LSU brothers. You're my brother. All this, that. If you're my LSU brother, you would have reached out by now. It's been months since I've been dealing with this. You ain't reach out once and say, hey, you okay? Like, what's going on? The one person who did reach out was Jay Williams, and he had a real talk with me. I was like, I really appreciate that, because you're trying to understand what's going on with me, because he did say something, then he took it back, which I appreciated. And I think it's just a level of like people understanding and not just speaking just to speak, not to get clicks or whatever it is. So I really respect Jay for that. That was, to me, that meant more than anything that was going on. But that's what you love to see from, ex-players and Shaquille O'Neal. Like, I got Shaq hating on me. Like, it's crazy, but yeah, I think that's what it is for me. Just that level of like understanding and respect. Like, don't talk if you don't know.
First of all, these young players you need to understand, Shaquille O'Neal don't need to hate on you. Everything you're doing, I done it 100 times over. First of all, if you play at 9:30 and we come on at 10 and we say something, it's just what we see. The mental health thing ain't come out until everybody start bashing you. Then you let people know you have mental health problems. And if you go back, Donzel's a witness. He's a producer on the show. I think I ever did it on the show or did on you. I told the world, I said, he DM'd me. He told me he's going through some problems. And I said I was going to back off.
Exactly, you did say that. I saw that night.
Yes. Exactly. I said I was going to back up. So, and then I told him in the DM, okay, the reason why people don't know what's going on is because you ain't talking.
Right.
But as far as what I saw, this is what I saw. I speak on what I saw, and I speak on what I know. I know how to get to that next level. He knows that. And yes, you can be my brother, but I ain't going to always sugarcoat things. I'm going to tell you the real.
You're never going to sugarcoat things.
I ain't going to never sugarcoat. And I want you to get to the level, to the level, to the level. But you can't say I'm hating, because all the stuff you're doing it because you saw me do it.
So you heard a little bit of what Shaq had to say and a little bit what Ben had to say. I said this in the past. I said Shaq should have never, ever, ever backed off his original positions on Ben Simmons, because I think Shaq was only saying the truth about Ben Simmons. I don't think he was attacking him. I think he was just being honest and straightforward. That's all Shaq was doing. He was doing nothing else. Shaq, I said it then, I'm going to say it now. Shaq seems like a no-nonsense type of guy. And I like that about him. Shaq holds himself accountable, and he holds everybody else accountable. He doesn't seem to be a hypocrite. Go look at some of his recent comments. Shaq is not one of these guys up there virtue signaling to people and acting like he's holier than thou. Oh, no, you're like this. No. Shaq keeps it real, and I think he's being consistent, right? And I think everything that he said about him in this particular soundbite was 100% on the money. When Ben said Shaq was hating, I'm sure Ben was assuming that Shaq was hating on him because he was making money. Because I don't understand what he could be talking about if we're talking about from a basketball standpoint. What in God's name is there for Shaq to hate on Ben Simmons about in his basketball game? Like, what do we even discuss? It's laughable to even suggest that there's anything about Ben Simmons' game that Shaq would hate. It is, you would get laughed out of the room if you try to suggest that. Shaq is one of the 10 best players of all time. Period, end of story. And this is the problem I have with Ben Simmons. He seems to have it seems to be very difficult for Ben Simmons to hold himself accountable. It's always somebody else's fault with this guy. He talked about Doc Rivers. They threw him under the bus. Did you hear what Doc was saying all throughout that season? How he was defending Ben Simmons? And Doc Rivers was basically telling reporters and people, whoever asked him, if you don't think Ben Simmons should be in a basket, be in the end of the game, you don't know basket. Did we miss that? So what happened with him there? Was he throwing you under the bus there? No. The reason you didn't feel that way was because he was saying nice things about you. Which goes back to what Ben said on the show. You're supposed to be up there to protect me. Why in the hell is he supposed to be up there to protect you? For what? He's supposed to give you an honest critique on what he's seeing and ask the questions his audience wants to hear. Period, end of story. And this is what separates the Shaqs and the Charles Barkleys from everybody else. They're not up there twerking it up for the next guy. Charles Barkley will be critical, and then he'll also give you credit. He does it all the time, and that's one of the reasons you see him get into verbal spats and public spats with people like LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and whoever else. Because people know that Charles Barkley's going to keep it real. He's not going to be up there twerking it up for you. So when he was up there talking about people need to protect, again, what he's saying is, please, you need to be up here babying me. That's all it is. And there are guys, and I say it all the time, there are guys that are going to watch this video and continue. They love it. Their only job is to be babying these dudes. That's their only job, to be up there babying them. That's all. That is all there is to it. Shaq said nothing wrong. He was 100% on the money with his comments about Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is up there wasting everyone's time. What JJ Redick should have asked Ben Simmons was this. Hey, listen, Ben, I know you've been playing a while, but a lot of people have been asking about your development over the years. We look at guys like Pascal Siakam, Paul George, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, John Morant, Luka Doncic. We look at all of these guys as time has gone on during their careers in the NBA, they're all getting better. I looked at some of your numbers and they've been going down. You're not really attempting three-point shots. Your free throw shooting percentage is dipping. Your rebounding is dipping. What have you been doing to improve that? What steps have you been taking? These are things people want to, instead of asking him this, he's sitting up there lobbing them dumplings or whatever, a little dumpling. All right, eat this. Here's this question for you. Come on, cut it out, man. Come on. So I totally agree with what Ben Simmons is saying. I totally agree with the energy that Shaq brought out there. Loved it. I loved it. Don't change it, Shaq. You're 100% right. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamers Pro, and catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.